Social media. Hey, how many times have I told you in these presentations to be careful about what you post on social media? Well, if you needed another lesson, here it is. Comes from a real case. Arising in North Carolina, two women, once upon a time they were vying for control of a radio station. They knew each other, once had been friends, they had a falling out. Long story short, gal by the name, last name Hammond, and she made some comments regarding another woman who was a radio station general manager, gained control of the radio station, low wattage radio station, North Carolina. Her last name was Dial. Well, Ms. Hammond said at one point in time in a Facebook posting, "At least I didn't get drunk and kill my son." Well, Ms. Dial had an 11-year-old son that years ago had died in a shooting incident involving another child. There was no indication that she had been in any way involved. Nonetheless, this comment by Ms. Hammond certainly gave some indication that she, Hammond, thought that maybe Dial was responsible for her own son's death. Well, Dial brought suit against Hammond for defamation, saying that her reputation was horribly damaged as a result of this Facebook posting. Well, the case went forward, and as it unwound, well, the gals finally decided to settle it, have it over and done with, but that happened only when Ms. Hammond agreed to pay $1.5 million. That's $500,000 to Miss Dial in order to bring an end to this lawsuit. Substantial amount of money that was paid as a result of a Facebook posting. Well, first of all, let me also observe that that is a relatively unheard of amount of money to be paid in a defamation case, period. In a defamation case, normally you don't see that kind of money being paid. But that's because you have to look at the history of defamation in the United States. Once upon a time, well, how did we get information out? Well, we got information out mainly through newspapers. Newspapers had a small geographic circulation. Then we had news getting out through radio broadcasts, then through television. But very rarely in the history of mankind has one individual had the ability to get information out to the whole world on the World Wide Web. That's what happens when postings are made to social media. In this instance, we saw that this individual was very inflamed as a result of the comments that were made about her on Facebook, sued, and as a result, a payment of $500,000 was made. Now, generally in the United States, defamation cases are very difficult, and they're difficult for a variety of reasons. Let's say that Sally Jones says, "Hey, Jim Smith is a horrible father and a lousy husband." Well, Jim Smith doesn't like that, sues Sally Jones. Going forward on a defamation case, truth is always the ultimate defense. If you can prove that the statements that were made by the person being accused of defamation were actually true, then there is no case. There's no libel, there's no defamation. Well, in this case where we have Jim Smith saying, "Hey, I am a good father," what does he have to do? He has to jump up and offer proof. "I'm a good father. I am a good husband." Sally has to prove that she has information, evidence, that shows he is a lousy husband and a poor father. Case goes to trial, and what do you have? You have evidence being presented on both behalf, and both basically are trying to produce evidence that says he is either a good guy or a bad guy. He has to produce evidence saying, "I'm a good guy." The person that made the statement says, "Oh no, he's really a bad guy." And at the end of the day, that kind of evidence is sometimes very difficult to obtain, and many times the credibility of it is very much questioned at the end. Most people find pragmatically that defamation suits in the United States really are a no-win situation for the majority of people. Maybe we're starting to see a change in that as a result of the social media and the ability to post things on the World Wide Web. As I've said, pay attention to what you post. We bring you this case, and we bring cases every week so you understand how the law works. I'm David Allen.